The Corps that took on the entire rebel army of Northern Virginia by itself and lived to tell the tale. This excellent corps was a personal favorite of George B. McClellan, as not only was General Fitz John Porter a good friend of his, but the entire corps was initially led by West Point graduates and professional soldiers, with the center of this corps being made up by regular Army soldiers. Of course, I am speaking of the 1862 Army of the Potomac 4th and 5th Corps. Everyone, welcome to War of the Rebellion Army Review for the mod American Civil War for Napoleon Total War. This is my favorite corps. I am so excited to share it with you all. It is hands down my favorite to use in multiplayer matches as well. It has some of the best fighting men on either side of the army. I'm hoping in the future we'll get a Peninsula campaign version, but for right now, this is as they showed up at the Battle of Antietam. They do have, because of the excellent soldier qualities that exist in the 4th and 5th Corps, low troop counts, and some newer units that might break a little bit easier. But I'm going to talk to you a few ways about how to get these boys into fighting shape, and some tactics and strategies to help you out. Now, the 5th Corps has been at the center of fighting on the Eastern Front since the beginning of the Peninsula Campaign. The center of this corps, I already mentioned, is made up by professional soldiers, U.S. Army regulars, who are a fearsome sight to behold on the battlefield. They are quite good at repelling enemy invaders and dying while standing up. Now, they're in another division. We'll look at them in a little bit. But this 4th and 5th Corps combined fought at Antietam together, or were taken piecemeal and plugged into gaps in the line. So they didn't fight as a corps together, but some of them saw action and some of them didn't. But they also fought at the Battle of Second Bull Run, and then Antietam, and of course fighting across the entire Peninsula Campaign. And Humphrey's division also shows up at the end of the battle at Antietam, 8,000 strong. So we'll look at them last, before we move on to the 4th Corps, that is. Alright, now let's take a look at the 1st Division that we have here, with Major General George W. Morrill. Now, Morrill's was actually not used at the Battle of Antietam. He was held in reserve, famously by McClellan, not using the majority of his strength to just overwhelm Robert E. Lee. But let's take a look at his 1st Brigade, led by Colonel Barnes. Now, the first unit that we're going to take a look at is the 118th Pennsylvania. Now, the 118th Pennsylvania, led by Colonel Charles M. Provost of Barnes' Brigade, is bringing 737 men to the battlefield. Unfortunately, their accuracy and their reloading skill is quite low at 17. Their melee attack is 11, their charge bonus is 7, and their defense value is just 10, with a morale of 12. So would I want these guys to be at the center of my line to hold off the Confederate attack? No. But I might spend a couple $100 or maybe $200 and give them some chevrons and use them to really hammer home a Confederate position when they try and break through. So if you've got a big old regiment this large that is chevroned up hiding behind your lines, it's going to make them think twice about trying to pierce the center. Alrighty. Take a look at some of what they can do. Now let's move on to the 22nd Massachusetts. All right, led by Lieutenant Colonel William S. Tilton. Let's take a look at their stats. Bringing 420 men in this regiment. Excellent. They've a range of 170, but that low accuracy and reloading skill again. Just 18 and 19, respectively. Their melee attack is 11, but their charge bonus is so subpar at 7, and their defense and morale is just 9. Once again, this regiment is also going to benefit from being chevroned to give it that extra oomph it's going to need and staying power when it's trading shots with highly motivated Confederate regiments. Alrighty. Let's look at the 18th Massachusetts, led by Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Hayes, bringing 282 men. Now their accuracy is 18, their reloading skill is 19, their melee attack is 11, their charge bonus is 7, their defense and morale are both 9. So once again, we're having like this low tier unit that we could potentially bring onto the battlefield, but they're not going to stick around if they're charged. Even by a smaller unit, it's going to be really hard to keep them around. So it's something to remember that if you're going to bring units with stats that are this low, maybe think about bringing them with chevrons so that they'll stay in the fight longer. Alrighty, and all of these brigades are quite large. So next up, we've got the 1st Michigan, led by Captain Amory Belton, bringing 220 men. Their accuracy and reloading skill, once again, is quite low at 17. Their melee attack is 11. Their charge bonus is 7. And their defense is 9, and their morale is just 10. Once again, you could take this whole brigade if you want, but you're going to have to spend extra money making sure that they're going to stick around for the fight. Alrighty, not bad. Next up is the 2nd Maine, led by Colonel Charles W. Roberts, bringing 181 men. Should see a little bit better stats, maybe? No, not at all. So their accuracy is 17, their reloading skill is higher at 23, but their melee attack is 8, and their charge bonus is 4. Their defense is 9, and their morale is 11. It's going to be, in my professional opinion, to leave these boys at home. They're not going to be worth taking. Especially if they just get routed by a unit with high attack value. And it goes the same for a lot of these. Unless you plan on giving them chevrons for a specific reason, maybe leave them at home. One of the things that you could do, if you were going to take this, is essentially for the same price as the 118th Pennsylvania, you could bring, I think, the sharpshooters, the 2nd Maine, and the 1st Maine. And yeah, they're a lot less. But what you can do is form this as a mini brigade, post it on the flank, give them some chevrons with some sharpshooters and some skirmishers, and use them as a fire and maneuver brigade around your enemy's flank. Something that I've seen excellent and great success in the last couple of games that I've played, which is where I sacrifice 1 or 2 of my best units and create a mobile brigade that works around the enemy's flank. Sometimes I give them chevrons, sometimes I don't. And essentially, as the enemy is trying to extend its line to meet me, they've spent too much money on too good of a troop. And what ends up happening is their one really good regiment ends up getting surrounded by 4 or 5 little ones. Seems to be working pretty well. I'll be interested to see how, as my tactic becomes more well known, how everyone else tries to fight against it if they start bringing their own. But I've seen it successfully used in 3 games now, in large player games where I just work around, and I'm going to have those come out in a little bit to show you guys kind of the effectiveness. One match I have the 2nd Corps I wanted to show for you guys, and another one I think I'm bringing I think the 10th Corps or something. So all right, the last unit in this brigade is some of, I think, my favorites. I'm always down for bringing sharpshooters. Now this is the Massachusetts Sharpshooters 2nd Company, led by Captain Lewis E. Wentworth. Once again, their range is 240, their accuracy is 45, the reloading skill is 20, but the morale is just 3. So I keep them on the outskirts, maybe with some cav, and their job is if enemy cav tries to get too close, the enemy cav might not know that they're there, and they will start picking them off, which has been really effective at keeping cavalry at bay when I'm guarding my flanks. I usually post one of these guys with a couple of small units, and it works wonders. All right. Oh, that's right. We've got one more. The 13th New York, led by Colonel Elisha? Yeah, Marshall. bringing 160 men. Now, this is on the largest unit size. As they showed up, these units have already been chewed up. And I'm going to tell you, just don't bring them. They're going to be absolutely tiny for their cost when you're looking at them. Unless you wanted to fiddle around with some tactics or something. So, they're bringing 160 men. Their accuracy is 19. Their reloading skill is 18. And their melee attack is 7. And their charge bonus is 3. And their defense is 8. And their morale is 7. Just not good. But if you wanted to reenact the Battle of Antietam and get the 5th Corps, 4th and 5th Corps involved in the fight, you could take the entire division just like this and still have plenty of cash left over. So, now that that's over, let's take a look at Brigadier General Griffin. He leads the 2nd Brigade here, which is a little bit larger, right? So, let's take a look. We've got the 2nd District of Columbia. What a regiment. Led by Colonel Charles M. Alexander. Once again, we've got some low values here. Their accuracy is 17. Their reloading skill is 17. Their melee attack is 7. Their charge bonus is 6. Their defense is 9. And their morale is 8. Oh my goodness. So yes, it's a large regiment, bringing 650 men, but it's just going to have issues. Unless, of course, you give it some chevrons. All right, let's look at who's next here. Got the 32nd Massachusetts, led by Colonel Francis J. Parker. And their accuracy is also 17. Their reloading skill is 17. Their melee attack is 7, and their charge bonus is 6. Their defense is 9, and their morale is 8. So once again, we're seeing these larger regimental sizes. They're not very good troop quality. And I'm telling you, if you're going to be fighting rebels, crushing that rebellion, you're going to need troops that have got something better. Or you need to give these guys help. Because you're gonna send this big old brigade in this huge long line, 6 regiments across, or 3 across with 3 in reserve, and they'll start breaking once the reps really start pouring fire into them. Because if the rebels you're fighting have, I don't know, let's say 5 or 6 or 8 regiments lined up, they're going to be pouring a ton of volley fire with multiple units all targeting just one. While these guys are only going to be shooting at 1 or 2 at a time, depending upon their size. So something to think about with these large sizes. Alrighty. So now we've got the 14th New York. Their accuracy is 19. Their reloading skill is 19. Their melee attack is 12. Their charge bonus is 7. But look at this. Their defense and morale are 14 and 15 respectively. Excellent. Now we're finally starting to get into a regiment that's worth taking. It's got 300 men, so you know you're not gonna be too bad, but also that accuracy and reloading skill is still something to be desired. So maybe a chevron there as well. Alrighty. Now we've got the 4th Michigan here, led by Colonel Jonathan W. Childs. It's bringing 288 men. Its accuracy is 19. Its reloading skill is 19. Its melee attack is 12. Its charge bonus is 7. And its defense and morale are 14 and 15. Again. So not bad. Just also not great. Alrighty. Here we go. Like, lost my place here. Oh. Alrighty. And now we're going to take a look at the 62nd Pennsylvania, led by Colonel Jacob Sweetser. They're bringing 435 men to the battlefield. Their accuracy is 17. Their reloading skill is 17. Their melee attack is 7. Their charge bonus is 3. Their defense is 9. And their morale is 12. So pretty bad. They're pretty bad.
Waiting for orders, sir.
All right. In the back, we've got the 4th Michigan here. Let's take a look. They have an accuracy of 19, a reloading skill of 19, a melee attack of 12, a charge bonus of 7, and a defense and a morale of 14 and 15, respectively. So, they're not great. They're pretty bad as well. They have some redeeming value. A little bit. Alrighty. Now, we've got the 9th Massachusetts. Let's take a look at these boys. Alrighty. Led by Colonel Patrick R. Guinea. They've got 412 men that they're bringing to the battlefield, but their accuracy and reloading skill, once again, is just 17. A melee attack of 7, a charge bonus of 6, a defense and morale of 9 and 8. Once again, give these boys chevrons or they will break and run for the rear. Now,
Waiting for orders, sir.
I think some of you can read that down here. We're going to take a look at its full strength, the 20th Maine. Oh my goodness. Yeah, here we go. These boys are a standard bring every time you take this corps. If you're not bringing the 20th, even on medium size, they're like half strength, so they're like 500 men strong. You cannot pass them up. They're absolutely... And if you give them a chevron, oh my goodness, that's just nuts. So, all right, let's take a look. So their accuracy is 19, and their reloading skill is 22, but their melee attack is 9, their charge bonus is 15, their defense is 12, and their morale is 13. Give these guys 2 chevrons and stick them in the center, and just let them have at it. Let them slug it out. I know they're going to take a lot of casualties, but they're going to hold for you, so let them get into it. Now, one thing I want to talk about with a regiment this big, so I can show you guys, is if you're fighting like this, only the first couple of lines are going to be shooting, and a lot of these boys in the back, which can't go any... Right? It's as wide as they get. You have to physically increase the ranks.
Yes, sir.
And we're just...
Yes, sir.
Just like this. And that's going to shift them over. You can do that in pre-deployment battle if you like, and that'll work for you. But it's just something to remember that if you want to do that, you can do it like this too. And just let it head all the way out there. And this is how you're going to block off a huge portion of the battlefield against an enemy. You'll be like, I'm just going to stick all of these boys right in front of you. 1,000 men, that's typically a brigade size as it is. Generally, maybe even a little less or a little more. But with guys at this size, you can keep the rest of the enemy at bay. Look at this.
Waiting for orders, sir.
All of these guys are so small in comparison, so... Something you can also do if you wanted to keep them a little bit... So we're a little buggy here. If you wanted to keep these guys all firing in their dense rank, and you want them to all shoot at once... No, it's not working right now. Is you can post them on a hill. So, if you had them like this, they would all be able to see the enemy at different spots, or you can post them at the bottom of a hill, just like this, and they'll all be able to shoot up at the same time. Anytime, it's only when they're standard in front that they have issues. Alright, so now the 20th Maine's over, let's take a look at some of the neighboring regiments in the brigade. We've got the 12th New York here under Captain William Hewson, bringing 339 men to the battle. They've got an excellent accuracy of 24 and 23 for reloading skill, a melee attack of 10, charge bonus of 8, defense of 10, morale of 7. A little bit less than what I would like to bring, but you can't always be too picky. All right. Next up is we've got the 83rd Pennsylvania, led by Captain Orpheus S. Woodward, bringing 162 men. Remember, this is on the largest unit size. It's going to be even smaller on medium. Remember that. Cut it in half, right? Do you want to take 80 men to the battle at their cost? Accuracy is 24. The reloading skill is 22. But their melee attack and charge bonus are 5 and 3. And their defense is 12. And their morale is 14. Not quite worth it for me. So, all right, let's take a look at the 16th. Even smaller. Bringing, so the 16th Michigan is led by Lieutenant Colonel Norval E. Welch. Their accuracy is 23. Their reloading skill is 23, which is fine. Their melee attack is 10, charge bonus of 8, defense of 13, and morale of 12. So not bad. But you are going to be coming up against rebel units that are significantly better than that. Something to remember. All right, the 44th New York, Major Freeman Connor commanding. Now, they've got 180 men, an accuracy of 24, a reloading skill of 23, a melee attack of 10, a charge bonus of 8, a defense of 10, and a morale of 7. So, okay, they're not quite their famous selves yet. We'll see that at the Battle of Gettysburg when we look at the 1863 version of the 5th Corps. You'll see these guys have a little bit better values because they made quite the name for themselves at Gettysburg, right? So we know how heroic that they ended up actually being. Okay, over here we've got the 17th New York, led by Lieutenant Colonel Nelson B. Bartram. Their accuracy is 24, their reloading skill is 23, their melee attack is 10, and their charge bonus is 8. Their defense is 10, and their morale is 7. Not bad, not great. Alrighty, once again, the boys in green. They're doing their little dance. So, the Michigan Sharpshooters of Brady's Company of Lieutenant Jonas H. Titus, Jr. Now, once again, their range is 240, their accuracy is 45, their reloading skill is 20, and their morale is 3. But, still the same. You can post them up and allow them to take out some rebs or maybe shoot at some cav. Just give them something to shoot at. If you have these guys, keep them safe, but let them shoot. All right, so first up we have the Massachusetts Light Artillery, Battery C, led by Captain Augustus P. Martin. 6 guns, 12-pound Napoleons. Firepower, 180. Excellent. Range, 810. Very standard. Accuracy of 65, which is great. Always, I tell folks all the time, I'm like, if you have artillery with 65 accuracy, bring it. Because the artillery battle is as important as the troop battle. If you can get your Napoleons up and start striking enemy Napoleons, and they have 50 accuracy or 55 accuracy, or what have you, it would behoove of you to bring these so that you can knock their guns out and then switch to their troops. Because it becomes very difficult to win when the enemy has artillery superiority. That's why it's called the King of Battle. And to bring as many of them as you can. All right, now we've got the 1st Rhode Island Light Artillery, Battery C, led by Captain Richard Waterman. A 6-gun battery of 12-pound Napoleons. Same stats, firepower of 180, range of 810, accuracy of 65, and a reloading skill of 30, with a morale of 40. So they're going to stick around for a while. All right. Maybe one of the most famous and well-known artillery batteries in the 5th Corps, for obvious reasons, the 5th United States Battery, D, of Lieutenant Charles E. Hazlitt. 6 guns, 10-pound Parrots. Firepower, that low firepower, it's good for knocking out guns. you're throwing these projectiles at the enemy guns and knocking them out wholesale. So, a range of 925, a little bit low accuracy of 55, and a reloading skill of 25, and a morale of 40. Can hide in shrub, woodlands, quicklime shells, canisters, and explosive. That's what these are. Special shot you use for infantry. Explosive shell as the enemy are far away. Special shot as they get closer. And canister when they're within range. So, definitely works. Alright, so this is the review of the 1st Division of the 5th Corps. I hope you guys took a look at it. I think at the very end of this, I'll make a model of how I like to build my 5th Corps so you guys can take a look. And you can make a decision for yourself about how you would like to do it. And I think I'm going to put that on medium settings so you guys can see what it looks like when you're playing against other players. But we'll do that after the very end. All right, let's take a look at the 2nd Division. Alrighty. You are looking at 2nd Division of the 5th Corps as it appeared at the Battle of Antietam while it was awaiting reserve. One of the reasons why is because this division, or the 5th Corps itself, just got done fighting at the 2nd Battle of Bull Run, where it was badly mauled. And of course throughout the Peninsula Campaign. So a lot of these units are consolidated. Excuse me, but when I play the 4th and 5th Corps of 1862, this forms part of the core of what I always bring, because it's got such great units. If you're playing on huge or large size, I would recommend this for multiplayer. If you're playing against 1 or maybe 2 other people. But don't bring the 4th and 5th Corps. It's going to struggle in the really large games where people are bringing really large armies. They'll just overwhelm you with size. So, it's something to think about. If you're doing historical scenarios, that's fun too. But we really need the 5th Corps as it was in the 1862 campaign. I would like to see them before the Battle of the 2nd Bull Run. But, anyway, so that them in the 1st Corps as well, the original full strength Iron Brigade before it met Jackson would be nice. So, anyway, let's take a look. So Brigadier General Sykes, George Sykes, is the 2nd Division commander. Does everything pretty well. He's got his rally and his inspire. I like taking him just for fun's sake. He's not particularly expensive, but he comes with 24 troops, which is nice. Now, the 1st Brigade is made up of United States troops. And the first we have is 3rd United States, led by Captain John D. Wilkins. Now, 310 men on huge size. That's a reminder. It's much less on medium, and you still might have to come up against 400-man regiments on medium. So, and I think they're like a tad under 200 on medium. So, their accuracy is 27. Their reloading skill is 26. Their melee attack is 13, and their charge bonus is 16, right? These are stellar stats. These are seasoned U.S. troops. Defense of 14, morale of 12. Absolutely excellent. Just small. If someone's bringing the light division, then this is a good counterpoint. If you're going to be fighting small, good elite troops is very helpful. So, next up is the 4th United States, led by Captain Hiram Dreyer, Buchanan's Brigade, Lieutenant Colonel Robert Buchanan, Now their accuracy is 27. So there's 318 men in the regiment. Their accuracy is 27. Their reloading skill is 26. Their melee attack is 13. Charge bonus of 17. Defense of 14. Morale of 12. Excellent. I always bring these units when I'm taking 4th and 5th Corps. Every single time. Especially when I'm doing huge battles. And one of the reasons why is because of the resiliency of these troops to stay under fire. They will get themselves cut up before they run. It's really nice. And when you have your general nearby, it's almost like they're unbreakable. It's just fantastic. Now, next up is the 12th United States 1st Battalion, led by Captain Matthew M. Blunt. It only has 155 men, accuracy of 32, reloading skill of 26, melee attack of 13, charge bonus of 16, defense of 14, morale of 12. So really great, really small, expensive. So it's like $500 or $600 that you could spend on maybe 2 smaller regiments, or when I mean smaller regiments, I mean like regiments that are cheaper than this combined one, that are maybe just average. But it's still more guns, right? You're talking like 250 troops instead of 150. Something to think about, because combined, these two are like $1,000. So, all right. Next up is 12th United States 2nd Battalion, led by Captain Thomas M. Anderson. 128 men, accuracy of 31, excellent. I mean, reloading skill of 26. Melee attack and charge bonus is 13 and 15. Defense of 14, morale of 12. These, yeah, I mean, these boys have just been fighting from the beginning, and that's...
Waiting for orders, sir.
and they're real small, so... Next up is 14th United States 1st Battalion, led by Captain W. Harvey Brown. Accuracy of 32, reloading skill of 26, melee attack of 14, charge bonus of 16, defense of 15, and a morale of 13. Perfect. Like, bringing these guys too. I normally bring these 4, and I consolidate them into one brigade, and they'll form the basis of my front line. Sometimes I give them chevrons just to make people mad. They work too. You know, they won't budge with chevrons added on, but real small, but elite troops. Alrighty. Yeah, I mean, 14th United States 2nd Battalion, led by Captain David B. McKibben. Accuracy of 32, reloading skill of 26, melee attack of 13, charge bonus of 16, defense of 15, morale of 13. Like, these are just perfectly great troops. They're just... their size really sets them back. So, alright. We're going to move on to the 2nd Brigade. This is led by Major Charles S. Lovell. And this is a combined, consolidated unit. The 1st and 6th United States, led by Captain Levi C. Boots. Range of 170, which is standard, but they're consolidated regiments. It's got 230 men. Their accuracy is 26. Their reloading skill is 26. Melee attack is 12. Charge bonus of 13. Defense of 15. Morale of 12. That's okay. As far as, like, it's over 200, so that's nice. But it's a tad expensive for what you're getting.
Waiting for orders, sir.
All right. Over here, we have the 2nd and 10th United States, led by Captain John S. Poland. Accuracy, well, first of all, 402 men. So, great regiment size, finally. Accuracy of 26, reloading skill of 26, melee attack of 13, charge bonus of 13, defense of 15, morale of 12. Excellent. You can even take them and slip them into your 1st Brigade here and take this as a whole. All right. Next up is 11th United States, led by Major Delancey Floyd Jones. Quite the name. 249 men, accuracy of 25, reloading skill of 26, melee attack of 12, charge bonus of 14, defense of 15, and a morale of 12, which is very nice. A little bit on the low side, and expensive.
Waiting for orders, sir.
The 17th United States, led by Major George L. Andrews. 309 men, accuracy of 25, reloading skill of 26, melee attack of 12, charge bonus of 14, defense of 15, and morale of 12. All absolutely excellent. Then we have 3rd Brigade, which was led by then Colonel Gouverneur K. Warren. And we've got the 5th and the 10th New York.
Waiting for orders, sir.
Both Zouaves. If I'm bringing... I usually bring a Zouave Brigade with the 155th in reserve. When I take this corps, it's a lot of fun just to have a Zouave Brigade. Alright. So, the 5th New York... I've got the wrong... That's alright. So, has 208 men, accuracy of 25, reloading skill of 25, and ammunition is fine, range is fine. Melee attack, a little low with 11, charge bonus of 13, defense of 16, morale of 13. They got chewed up at Bull Run.
Reporting, General.
Second Battle of Bull Run. The 10th New York, led by Lieutenant Colonel John W. Marshall. 315 men, accuracy of 25, reloading skill of 25, melee attack of 11, charge bonus of 13, which is good, defense of 16, which is great, morale of 13, which is good. Anything over that 10 mark. So, oh, that's my start spot. Start spot. All right, now let's take a look at the artillery that comes with this division. Now you can always intermingle, but these are some on the cheaper side, and sometimes I'll bring them in depending on the map. On this map, I would bring all rifled guns, 18 rifled guns, or 16, however many I can fit, because we're going to be shooting on long range, and I want to disable enemy guns first and foremost. But if it's a short map, I might bring a set of Napoleons to bring up real close to the front and act as like support assault guns. I sometimes do it, and these are some of the guns that I bring. And the reason why is that heavy firepower. The 1st United States Battery E and G, led by Lieutenant Allenson M. Randall, 4 guns, 12-pound Napoleon batteries, firepower of 120, range of 810, accuracy of 65, reloading skill of 30. Good troops to bring these up as assault guns. Use them at short range. I'm talking just across the clearing. I'll deploy them, and I'll just start shelling the enemy from up close. And the reason why is because we have access to professional troops on these guns. 5th United States Battery I, led by Captain Stephen H. Weed. 3-inch guns. I always bring these, every time. Firepower of 8. Range of 915, accuracy of 60, reloading skill of 30, morale of 40. Just solid. Solid service all the way around. Then you have Battery, 5th United States Battery K, led by Lieutenant William E. Van Reed. 4 guns, 12-pound Napoleon batteries. Firepower of 120, range of 810, accuracy is a little bit lower at 60, and reloading skill is 30. But sometimes I will bring both of these, and they'll just move up with my line, and when my line starts fighting is when they'll deploy on the smallest little hill I can find, or right in between some regiments, and I just let them put on canister, and their job is just to duke it out, because it's not really done that much in multiplayer, and sometimes when I do it, it takes them by surprise, and it can rout some units that take canister to the face. So, especially when you look, you know, they're only shooting to, you know, right here. So, alright. So this is The 2nd Division by Brigadier General George Sykes. I took a good hard look at it. It's got some nice infantry. It's got some small unit sizes. But they can perform in certain situations pretty darn well. And you're not going to have to do a whole lot. You'll be a tough nut to crack unless the enemy is bringing a ton of troops, which they might be prepared for. In all of my playtests, I have yet to win successfully using this against really large enemy divisions. And I've tried a couple of different ways. But I have done rather well working together in some 2v2s and some 3v3s using the 4th and 5th, where people are, they kind of joke. They're like, hey, like, I'll just, you know, whatever. And if you're in the center or on the flank and you know your flank is secure, then your boys just chew them up. And they're just like, what? I thought this would be a walk in the park. But no, it's because all of 5th Corps and that was stationed at Antietam were all elite troops almost. So, all right. Let's move on to the 3rd Division. And then we'll look at the artillery reserve that comes with this, that the 5th Corps had, and then the added troops from 4th Corps. We'll get into those in a moment. Alrighty. And now before you is 3rd Division, led by Brigadier General Andrew A. Humphreys. Famously, they marched to Antietam the day of the second day's battle. But since no fighting took place, they weren't needed. They were a brand new division, freshly raised. And so a lot of them are from Pennsylvania. Now, of course, that's reflected. You're going to get some boys out of this. Here's good old Humphreys here. Just everyday dudes. Alrighty. Now, the 1st Brigade, just led by Brigadier General Tyler. He, since these are all fresh troops, don't expect a lot, but they are cheap. So, 318 men, of course, is on the huge size, with the 91st Pennsylvania, led by Colonel Gregory. Accuracy of 17, reloading skill of 17, melee attack of 7, charge bonus of 6, defense of 9, morale of 8. You can see where this is going.
Reporting, General.
These would all become fine fighting regiments in the future, but right now, don't take them. The 126th Pennsylvania with Colonel Elder, accuracy of 13, reloading skill of 17, melee attack of 7, charge bonus of 6, defense of 9, morale of 8. Oh, thank you.
Reporting, General.
All right, the 129th Pennsylvania with Colonel Frick, 317 men, accuracy of 17, reloading skill of 17, melee attack of 7, charge bonus of 6, defense of 9, morale of 8.
Waiting for orders, sir.
And 360 men, there's with the 134th Pennsylvania, led by Colonel Quay, accuracy of 17, reloading skill of 17, melee attack of 7, charge bonus of 6, defense of 9, morale of 8. Oh, it's just brutal.
Reporting, General.
All right. Now we're going to look at the 2nd Brigade, led by Colonel Alabac. This is the 123rd Pennsylvania, led by Colonel Clark. 649 men. This regiment you can take. It's got a lot of guys, it's worth it. Accuracy of 17, reloading skill of 17, so just absolutely awful stats. Melee attack of 7, charge bonus of 6, defense of 9, morale of 8. Take this regiment, give it 2 chevrons, and it'll perform just fine.
Waiting for orders, sir.
131st Pennsylvania, led by Lieutenant Colonel Shout. accuracy 323 men, accuracy of 17, reloading skill of 17, melee attack 7, charge bonus 6, defense 9, morale 8. Oof. Brutal.
Reporting, General.
Next up is the 133rd Pennsylvania with Colonel Speakman. 359 men reporting. Accuracy of 17, reloading skill of 17, melee attack of 7, charge bonus of 6, defense of 9, morale of 8. Don't even think about it. Don't bring these guys. They're going to disappoint you. The only ones you bring is the 155th and the 123rd for unit size. And then you give them both chevrons at this point because they were raised 2 weeks before the Battle of of Antietam. Or maybe a little longer, but it was they got here quick. The 155th Pennsylvania has just a 100 range. They've got a great unit size at 617. Accuracy of 17, reloading skill of 17, melee attack of 7, charge bonus of 6, defense of 9, morale of 8. 2 chevrons. Then you can use their regiment as a place to pierce the line. They didn't have their Zouave uniforms in 1862, but I don't think they would have minded. They didn't have them at Gettysburg either, but that's where they put their Zouave statue. So, looks fantastic. Great mod work here. Alrighty. Now the rest, this is what they showed up. The 5th Corps had all of the reserve artillery at Gettysburg. And we're going to go through. These first 2 guns are actually part of the 3rd Division, and then the rest was just kind of that traveled with them. So you have the 1st New York Light Battery C, led by Captain Barnes. 2 guns, 3-inch battery. Firepower of 4, pretty low. The range is 915. Their accuracy is 65, reloading skill of 30. I sometimes bring these guys to cap off if I'm doing a weird combination. I'll bring them up, just the 2 guns, and I'll post them somewhere out of the way just to try and snipe enemy artillery. And that's it. That's all they get to do the whole match.
Artillery!
All right. Now, the 1st Ohio, they're going to run you a pretty penny, but they're worth it. Their firepower is 180. Their range is 810. Now, it's a 6-gun, 12 Napoleon, led by Captain Robinson, and it's worth it. Their accuracy 60. Their reloading skill is 30. But they're good troops. I often bring them. 1st Battalion, New York Battery A, led by Lieutenant Bernard Weaver. 4 guns, 20-pound Parrots. Firepower of 16, range of 950, accuracy of 60, reloading skill of 30. You can bring these to try and take out enemy guns at range. They'll do a pretty good job. All right. 1st Battalion, New York Light, Battery B, led by Lieutenant Alfred von Kleiser. 4-gun, 20-pound Parrots. Firepower of 16, range of 950, accuracy of 60, reloading skill of 30. Pretty standard. Good stuff, though. You can bring them conditionally. I usually prefer the 3-inch guns, but Parrots work pretty well, too. Wait till we get into the siege guns. Oh, my goodness. Then we'll be looking at stuff. All right. 1st Battalion, New York Light, Battery C. Captain Robert Langner, 20-pound Parrot battery. 4 guns. So firepower of 16, range of 950, accuracy of 65, reloading skill of 30, morale of 40, which is all standard. Very nice. New York Light 5th Battery, led by Captain Taft. 4-gun, 20-pound Parrots battery. Firepower 16, range of 950, accuracy of 60, reloading skill of 30. Bring them conditionally if you want them. Alrighty. 5th United States Battery K, Lieutenant William E. Van Reed. 4 guns, 12-pound Napoleons. Firepower of 120. Range of 810. Accuracy 60. reloading skill 30. I'm always looking for those little higher powered Napoleons. 180 is worth it. 120 is not. Just bring the Napoleons with higher firepower. Just bring it. It's not... These are cheaper, I think, but just bring what works.
Artillery!
All right, then we've got the 4th United States. Oh yeah, 180 firepower, range 810, accuracy is 65. Yes, hit that 65 mark and bring it. It will do wonders for you with high accuracy. All right, reloading skill of 30. So now that we looked at the artillery, let's bring up the 4th Division, which is combined, and we'll take a look at the units that you can bring from there. So at the very end of this video, I'm going to show you the division as I like to bring it when I'm playing certain matchups, and that's it. I think I'll start doing that with kind of a lot of these units, so with these army reviews. Now let's take a look at the 4th Corps. That's the word I was looking for. Alrighty. Welcome to the last bit of the review as we review the 4th Corps of the 4th and 5th Corps combined army. And we're going to look at the 1st Brigade, which was led by Brigadier Charles Devens. And we have the 7th Massachusetts up first, led by Colonel David A. Russell, bringing 415 men, an accuracy of 19, a reloading skill of 18, a low melee attack of 7, a decent charge bonus at 13, a defense of 13, and a morale of 14. So not bad. Next up is the 10th Massachusetts, bringing 402 men, led by Colonel Henry L. Eustis. Accuracy of 20, reloading skill of 18. Once again, a low melee attack of 7, a charge bonus of 13, a defense of 13, and a high morale value of 15. Which means if you've got them on the defensive, they'll stick around for a while.
Order, sir.
Alrighty, this big old regiment, the 36th New York, 620 men, led by Colonel William H. Brown, an accuracy of 20, a very low reloading skill of 13, a low melee attack of 7, charge bonus of 13, a defense of 10, and a morale of 15. So good, still good morale. Maybe give them a chevron, and they'll duke it out. So, and I've got them stretched out in the length of 2 regiments, so you can see how big they are, that size. All right. Next up is the 2nd Rhode Island, led by Colonel Frank Wheaton. 365 men that they're bringing. Accuracy of 20, reloading skill of 13, very poor. Melee attack of 7, charge bonus of 13, defense and morale of 8 and 9. Just awful. All right, so we're going to move on to the 2nd Brigade. And front and center, some Zouaves here with the 62nd New York, led by Colonel David Nevin. 318 men, accuracy of 22, reloading skill of 23, ammunition 40, melee attack of 11, charge bonus of 15, defense of 18, and a morale of 12. So just absolutely excellent. Something that we love to see. If I'm playing large or huge, I bring these guys. Excellent troops. All right. We've got the 93rd Pennsylvania, commanded by Colonel McCarter. 299 men, accuracy of 22, reloading skill of 23, melee attack of 11, charge bonus of 14, a defense of 9, and a morale of 12. Oof.
Reporting, General.
Alrighty. The 98th Pennsylvania, commanded by Colonel Ballier. 317 men, accuracy of 22, reloading skill of 23, melee attack of 11, and a charge bonus of 14, with the low defense of 9 and a good, decent morale at 12. Now, the 102nd Pennsylvania, 360 men, accuracy of 19, reloading skill of 18, melee attack of 9, charge bonus of 13, defense of 9, morale of 11. That's decent. 139th Pennsylvania, commanded by Colonel Collier, 649 men, accuracy of 19, reloading skill of 18, charge bonus of 9, charge bonus of, or I'm sorry, a melee attack of 9, charge bonus of 13, defense of 9, morale of 11. Pretty poor. All right, we're going to look at 3rd Brigade, commanded by Brigadier General Cochran. 323 men of the 65th New York, led by Colonel Shaler. Accuracy of 17, reloading skill of 23, melee attack, very poor, 7, charge bonus of 10, defense of 8, and morale of 9, not great.
Reporting, General.
The 67th New York, led by Colonel Julius W. Adams, 359 men, accuracy of 22, reloading skill of 23, melee attack of 11, charge bonus of 13, defense of 14, morale of 13.
Wait for orders, sir.
Men, 617 men commanded by Colonel Titus, great last name, of the 122nd New York. Accuracy of 22, reloading skill of 23, melee attack of 10, charge bonus of 12, defense of 12, morale of 9. Perfect. Bring this unit. Give them a chevron. Boost up their morale a little bit, and they're going to see solid service
Reporting,
for you.
General.
All right. We've got the 31st Pennsylvania here, commanded by Colonel Spear. 317 men, accuracy of 20, reloading skill of 23, very average but good melee attack at 12, charge bonus at 13, defense at 14, morale of 12. Excellent.
Waiting for orders, sir.
All right. Then we've got the 61st Pennsylvania, commanded by Colonel Williams. Accuracy of 20, reloading skill of 23, good melee attack, and charge bonus at 12 and 13 respectively, and their defense and morale 14 and 12. Perfect. If you're playing large skies, bring them, and they'll do very good service. Now, we have the artillery right here. Oh, wait, we'll just stop them wherever they're at. There's just some things that I want to go over with you guys. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Just stop. Everyone stop. We'll just take a look. All right. So, the New York Light Artillery 3rd Battery, commanded by Lieutenant William Shard, 4 guns, 10-pound Parrott rifles, firepower of 12. So that's, 4 each. 3 each. Don't. Oh, God. Oh, no, I can't believe I did that. All right. 3 each. Accuracy is low at 55. Reloading skill of 25. Range is 925. I just don't bring them. 1st Pennsylvania Light Artillery Battery D, commanded by Captain Flood. 4 guns, 10-pound Parrott batteries. Firepower of 12. Range of 925. Accuracy of 55. Reloading skill 25. Don't bring them. 1st Pennsylvania Light Artillery Battery C, commanded by Captain McCarthy. 4 guns, 10-pound batteries. Firepower of 12. Range of 926. Accuracy of 55. Reloading skill of 25. Don't bring them. All right. 2nd United States Artillery Battery G, Captain James Thompson. 4-gun, 12-pound Napoleons. Firepower 120. Range 810. Accuracy of 60. Reloading skill of 30. Morale of 40. Okay, but not great. Kind of next up, which is what they have, is these guys. The 1st United States Skirmishers. They have skirmish mode and light infantry behavior. I will sometimes bring these guys in, and I'll let them sit at the edge. Something like this. Let them poke into the enemy. There is no cav in the 4th and 5th Corps, so you're always fighting at a disadvantage with those who do have it. And they also have, for about $350, I think, they also have some more sharpshooters in the 50-man unit range, which is okay. These are just included as part of what you can take, and I'll show you guys some of what that looks like. So, 50 men, Massachusetts sharpshooters, 2nd Company, led by Captain Wentworth. Accuracy of 45, excellent, right? Reloading skill of 20, seems pretty normal. Morale of 3, though, but their range is 240, so they can start shooting. If you've got an area where you know there's no cav operating in, you can either bring, you know, this guy or one of these. But they do have, always look at sharpshooters. Sometimes they can be really good. So,
Reporting, General.
this is a small regiment that it costs around the same size. You can kind of see it's got its low stats with the 13th New York there. But the 20th Maine, wherever they are, as skirmishers,
Take cover!
it's 79 men with a range of 220. Accuracy of 27. Reloading skill of 23. They have a low melee attack and charge bonus, but they have really good morale, and they're gonna drop bodies for you. So bring them and just keep them protected. Have them sit, maybe engage skirmishers on the edge, or find a spot where they're just able to shoot and be protected. It's just worth it. Just bring them. They don't cost that much. Kind of the same for the United States. If you ever have infantry soldiers that are skirmishers, bring them. They're excellent. Like, this is 40 men, accuracy of 26, reloading skill of 26. Just bring them, and they'll drop bodies for you. Kind of the same with these boys. 36 New York, 62 men, accuracy of 20, reloading skill of 13. It's a little low, but that they just have a high range. Just let them poke at people from a distance. They'll do good work for you. All right. So next up, I'm going to show you guys a simulated army size of what I would normally take, and I'm going to show that at the large level and what that large level looks like when it's a medium as well. It's going to be the exact same army. So this is a mock army that I would bring to a 1v1 or maybe a 2v2 when we're using huge unit sizes. And it just kind of shows kind of the unique strength of the 4th and 5th Corps in this time period. Because this is at their historic regimental sizes. So I brought Brigadier General George Sykes, who's just a great army commander, historic. So, yeah, just bring him. First up is I built a unique brigade led by the 20th Maine. It has 1,000 and over 1,000 men. I think it starts with like 1,100. Yeah. And its accuracy, I've bumped it up. I've given it 2 chevrons. Its accuracy is 21. Reloading skill is 24. Its melee attack is 10. But its charge bonus is 15. So its defense is 14 and its morale is 15, which is really high. So I like to use this unit to lead brigade attacks because they're going to soak up a lot of damage, but they've got the morale to tank it. I also try and keep my general close by, and if anything starts to get worry, I'll use an Inspire or the rally ability, and it keeps them in the fight. Now, I've also done the same for 2 of its adjacent units to be in this front leading brigade. I want to use this brigade to storm positions and then have the morale to duke it out to enemy units that are coming up at them. And I decided to pair it up with the 123rd Pennsylvania here. So Colonel John B. Clark, its accuracy and its reloading skill is low, but the point is I want them to get up close. It has low melee attack and charge bonus, but I want it for its defense and its morale. Giving them 2 chevrons. Because it's also 643. So I want them to come up close with my general, be able to storm the position, and allow the rest of the army to get online. Then I also have the 2nd District of Columbia here, also 650 men. 2 chevrons, just to give them that added experience, and they work great together. Coming up behind them, I have these 4 that form the 2nd line. And the 2nd line is, when these guys are done, I'm going to bring in my regulars. And also at the same time, this is over 1,000 men, 1,200 men in a brigade, which is fantastic. So, and really anything over 200, to be honest. And even then, you might be finding it, if you're facing a really large set of armies. So I have these, and that allows them to pass through if they need to and take advanced positions or hold the enemy back, because every single one of them has great defense and morale and a charge bonus and melee attack. Your average unit, if you're lucky, will equal 20 combined from melee attack and charge bonus. You'll see that. These boys are all close to 30, which is great. So I also bring their skirmishers just to throw them out and start taking some pot shots however I can get it. Just get them on some high ground. Sometimes the enemy AI artillery will just randomly shoot at them. Alright, so the next is I brought a brigade of Zouaves, which I always do if I get the chance. It's thematic and it's cool, and the Zouave troops themselves are generally pretty good. So this is the 10th New York. It has all-around great stats, which is what we're looking for. I want high-performing troops. The 62nd with the same. And then the 155th in the back. And I just leave them stock, because they're there to plug a gap. And what I want is these 2 units to get into a line, and then the 155th will take over, and then I can pull them out and keep using them. So I have them usually form up somewhere where there's just the least likely to have damage. And sometimes I give them a chevron or 2 as well, because they're basically, it's 600 shotguns. Use it use at your discretion, which is really great. All right. Just also got some main skirmishers. I don't have cav, and that's always very unfortunate with the 4th and 5th Corps. They do. The AI here is blocked themselves on the other side of the river, and they're trying to get across. So I'm not playing for keeps here. Just showing you guys kind of the effects of what you can theme an army about, or like with the 4th and 5th Corps. And you also have these New York regiments. 118th Pennsylvania, 737 men. Just fantastic. But it's low on the total troop count. If they decide to go like all infantry, you might just get, through sheer numbers, have issues getting through. All right. So now we're gonna take a look. I'm gonna exit out of this, and it's gonna show the troop count, so you can see how much it is, and then we're gonna switch it to medium to show you what that looks like. So this is 8,500 men. So I was still outnumbered. Alrighty. Now here's that same 5th Corps Army on medium. And you take a look and we're like, oh, okay. Like, this is still fine. But look what happens to our poor US regulars. All less than 200 men. And you're still going to be fighting brigades as large as what you were previously, 1,200 men, and they're gonna come up on here and just dump on you. Because a lot of Union regiments get real small in the. So, kind of the same, right? The 10th and 62nd are both now under 200. So very, very small. The 155th is under 300, which is fine, but they just kind of lose that shotgun power that you want to use them for. Is you keep their fire at will off, and then right when you need them, just bring them in. So your corps suddenly gets a lot smaller, or your division, I should say, because that's really what it is. And, you know, the 149th, they're excellent. They still have the same nice stats, but there's just less than 200 of them. So you gotta supplement them with other guys, other regiments, and there's not a whole lot left. There's a few 200s with middling stats, so you're gonna have to either come down on some of your better units, or take the chevrons off or something, you know? It just doesn't work because all of these are good Confederate regiments, especially when they're done by really competent players. So that's the problem with the 5th Corps. Wrap around you. So, even with all of their artillery pieces and everything else. So, alrighty. Overall, when we look at the 4th and 5th Corps, we can see that it's got some great troops when you're playing at different unit sizes, but when you're going to be playing multiplayer, it's going to be a stretch to make work. Especially because so many of your units that you rely on are now under 200 soldiers per regiment, and even that is kind of a stretch. So, it becomes really brutal to take on those larger, more experienced Confederate Western armies. So, or even just the 1861, when they have 700-800 men in a regiment, could be pretty brutal. Especially if you're just fielding something like this. So, take with caution when you're playing in multiplayer. Obviously still works if you're going to do. But yeah, if you were going to use these as a historical unit, then for sure to take a look. It's kind of the same when you look at the 5th Corps from 1863. This is, we're on medium size here. All of these regiments are less or right at 200. And it's just a lot to deal with. You would like all of your regiments to be 245. If that were the case, then I would say you take the 5th Corps with these stats every time. But it just doesn't work. Right? I mean, look at 10th Corps, just with all of its hundreds and hundreds of troops. So we'll get to them. if you haven't seen this and this is your first time, then I'll show you how this looks. This is all of the armies that we have in the mod right now. And we have done the reviews all the way up to here, to 1862. And we have all these to go to. But when I finish the 1862 Army of the Potomac, I will switch and do the Confederate 1862 armies. AP Hill's Light, Jackson's Wing, Longstreet's, all of that stuff. So we'll have a look at it. So we've got plenty to go through, that's for sure. And there's more on the way of other armies that are being created. So it'll be interesting to see what the future holds. But that, my friends, thanks for watching. I hope you found this 4th and 5th 1862 review helpful in some way. And if you get the chance and you're playing on a large map, go ahead and use them. It's a lot of fun. They're my favorite, the 4th and 5th and the 5th Corps, both, but they're just not large enough on medium settings for multiplayer. So that's unfortunate. But with that, my friends, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
I can feel your eyes on me.